Let's go. Well, g'day everyone, it's Wes Leake here from Business Blessings, and I am thrilled to be joined by Scott Epp today. Scott, welcome to this short, quick
thank
interview.
You.
So, Scott, just quickly tell people who you are and what you do.
Sounds great. Well, again, my name is Scott. My last name is Epp. My wife, Nicole, and I run a company called Breakthrough Corporate Training and another one called Abundance Coaching. The former is more about corporate training in corporates, and we empower leaders to really achieve their full potential with their teams. And on the corporate coaching side and also life coaching side, we actually really just help people become their authentic, amazing best.
Which is fantastic, Scott. And you're such a huge encourager and just help people to move on and to become who they're destined to be, which is really great. Scott, one of the key things that we've connected over is life languages. So for those who know me, you know that I've been promoting this for a number of years and you guys have been around a long time. But I wanted to touch base with you because Christmas can be a nightmare in terms of communication. Communication between partners, husbands and wives, or partners, between families, or like parents and kids, but also between families. So tell us, what's some of the tips that you've got up your sleeve for communication at Christmas time?
Well, communication at Christmas time, what a topic, right?
Yes.
There's so much strife that can happen. We talk about it as this joyous time, and often it really is, but because there is this want and desire to get together as family. I think that's one of the biggest parts that we appreciate is family time at Christmas. But because you're in that close proximity, and because the walls and boundaries are less and less, there's a familiarity, then conflict can certainly come. So are you more interested in some solutions for when we flare, or what would you really like to know?
Well, let's talk about this. Well, so let's go back. So like from a life languages perspective, there's 7 different languages that people communicate, and so let's have a quick talk about that. And then let's look at some of the solutions that we've got.
That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, there are 7 life languages, and I'll just pull up the little chart here. We have a mover life language, a doer, an influencer, a responder, a shaper, producer, and a contemplator. And with the different life languages, there's different styles of communication, and they're really unique. They're really different. With the mover, they're more innovative, they're forceful, and they may be direct, for instance. And when you understand the different languages and how they operate, you're then also able to understand what it is that these languages have as a need or a passion or a filter question or even a character strength. So, for instance, a mom might be a certain life language, and she might be distressing in the kitchen, and she's more of a higher doer, for instance, for her life language set. And as the doer, she wants to through things like that. But at a deeper level, we all have different relationships with our siblings, with our parents, and with the different cousins or relatives that we have. And there might have been hurts from your past. There might have been different strains or challenges in that relationship. But that's heightened by the differences that we have in communication, isn't it, Wes? So, like there's a plethora of examples. In my extended family, I certainly know that there were some tense times when different people with the different background and different experience and stories combined with their communication styles really had a lot of flares that ended up coming. So the shaper being more of a planned first type of language, for example, and they want to have focus and strategy, and maybe they're more cognitive. Could come across to an emotive person, somebody maybe with a high life language of responder who wants to know that you care. They might actually have a moment in a Christmas heat where you're calloused, the responder might say towards the shaper the person with the top shaper language. And whereas the shaper might come up and feel like, well, that's just me, and you're way too sensitive. And some of these things can come up because the responder is more sensitive when you come out to it. But I think one of the things that really helps is when we understand each other, we have power. And I think that the quote is clarity brings power. So when we understand how another person acts or reacts, and we understand their communication styles or their tendencies or what they're fluent in, and when we look at the life language profile, for example, we're understanding that there's 7 unique life languages and different fluencies. We're not boxed in. It's all free because we're able to raise up and understand when we're in different life languages. And I think that's a really powerful thing to add. So we've done this, Wes, in family groups. And because the whole family knows what the different life languages are of different siblings or their parents, for instance, it's really helped them to understand how they can communicate and first of all, help each other to embrace who they are, to know, okay, well, this is who I am, or this is my tendencies and my fluencies in communication, so they can embrace that, but other people can embrace that as well. So a quick example of that is one of the families that we've worked with. Everyone has done their life language profile. Actually, everyone but 2. There's 2 that live far away, so they haven't done it yet. So the dad says he's a high contemplator, producer, and shaper. 3 cognitive languages, 1, 2, 3. And he said the other day to me and his son, who was there in the conversation, life languages has helped me appreciate who I am and also what my needs are. And the son agreed. And because the son knew the tendencies, but he wasn't able to really associate it, it really helped him to know, okay, Dad, when he wants to leave at a certain time, it's not because he wants to be out of the conversation, he doesn't love us, but it's just that he needs a little pocket of personal time, which the contemplator needs, for example. So these are just some quick examples of what can happen at Christmas and how beneficial knowing what your family life language sets are.
That's really good. And I think that's one of the great things about the life languages is we talk about who our characteristics are, but it's also like, how do we filter everything? And once you know how a person filters everything and you know what their needs are and their driving passions and their key character strengths, it can really bring, like, the lights go on and you think, that's why that person's like that. And you can actually learn to communicate with them way better than what you could ever dream or imagine about, because you know, hey, this is who they are.
So true. That's awesome. Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, it's about honoring them. This is
Mhm.
recognizing them as a person